Dans cette vidéo, je vais vous dire tout ce dont vous avez besoin pour obtenir un grade 9 en français. Now, many of you will think that classwork isn't really necessary and that revision is what actually gets you the 9. Well, that's right and wrong. Obviously, revision will help because you're going over the content that you've learned for French, but what's the point if you didn't really learn it properly in the first place in school? So make sure you're paying as close attention as you can in class, but also make sure you're making key notes on words and phrases that you didn't know, as well as key grammar concepts. Just because everyone else isn't making notes doesn't mean you shouldn't be as well, because to get that grade 9, you have to put in the extra effort. So in the speaking part of French, you'll have 3 exams. You'll have the general conversation where you're going to be asked questions by the examiner on 2 themes. One you get to pick and one is their choice. Then you have the role play where you'll be given the role play card and you can prepare your answers for it, and then you'll basically just talk about a topic. And finally, you'll have a picture card where you're just basically going to be asked to describe what you see on it. So my advice for the speaking exam is simple. Practice, practice and practice. You should be given some booklets by your school with practice questions that you can plan your answers on and then practice speaking them. So using this, just ask someone from your family to act as the examiner. So whether it's for the role play, for the general conversation or for the picture card, they're doing their part to help you get the feel of the real exam. So when you get to that, feel no pressure because you've already practiced enough. What you shouldn't even think of doing is memorizing sentences from certain topics, hoping that one of them comes in the real exam. This is so impractical because the amount of topics they can choose from mean that you have to memorize like hundreds of sentences, which would be such a waste of time. And if none of them come in, then you're not going to get a grade 9, are you? So that's what I would definitely avoid. So the big one, the writing exam. So many students struggle in it, but in reality it can be quite simple to get grade 9 if you follow the correct tips. In my writing exam in year 10 for my mocks, I did get 85% in the full writing paper, which is equivalent to a grade 9. So trust me on the advice I'm going to give you. You have to get the tenses out of the way first because these are the base of your writing and this is where your majority of your marks come from. So learning and practicing your tenses is really crucial. One really good revision resource I would recommend is Naman Sami's online revision booklet with the French tenses. It's not only got all the tenses in there, but it's got really good explanation and examples that you can use. And I'm going to be using this for my GCSE revision this year, and you should as well. It'll be linked in the description and it's completely free. You should also have a really good idea of your complex phrases that you want to use in your writing, because those are the extra marks you can get by impressing the examiner that can make you more likely to get the grade 9. So for example, using good time phrases, using après avoir, avant de, and having a really good idea of the pluperfect tense, and you adding these into your essays will be really good for you. Finally, you need to know all the vocabulary for the topics that you're going to come up in the writing exam, because this is what's going to make context for your essay. You can do this by making Anki flashcards now for those key vocab words, so then you can go over them throughout the year. When it comes to the real GCSEs, don't be panicking about them because due to spaced repetition, they already can be stuck in your head. Alternatively, you can make a summary for all the verbs, tenses and vocab into the topics like this one, which is really colorful and it looks pretty cool, and you'll have multiple one of these. So it's really all up to you, but make sure you do it effectively for your writing exam. The listening and reading exam tips are going to be similar to the speaking exam, where practice will only get you that grade 9. So for listening, when it comes to about April, you can start listening to some French podcasts and videos if you want to get the gist of how the exam will be, so you feel more comfortable on the GCSE day for French listening. For reading, I would definitely recommend the CGP revision guide because you can't go wrong with it. It's got really good practice questions, it got really good explanation, and obviously it's got the answers with it for you to check as you practice along. Oh, and I forgot to mention one really crucial part and tip that you must use if you want to get grade 9 in GCSE French. It's hitting that subscribe button so you can hit 5k by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more 11 tips, click here and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.